What it do, what it do, what it do, man. It's your boy Wise. We back in the building with another banger coming out, man. So apparently there's a new Walking Dead game coming out. Sorry, I'm just backwards today. New Walking Dead game coming out, and I'm a big zombie game enthusiast, and I also am a huge fan of The Walking Dead. And it seems like this is a game where you're gonna kind of play through the first 4 seasons, I do believe, and I think your choices influence the gameplay, as I believe it's described. But anyway, so we're gonna watch another creator by the name of Tyler Sidequest. Shout outs to him. If you want to go over there and sub up. He made this video talking about the game. We're gonna check it out, see if this is something up our alley. It's probably something I'm gonna start covering on the channel, start branching out a little bit. So let's check it out.
Get over you. They done it before. They just gonna have to.
Hello, welcome to Taylor's Sidequest. The video today is on updates about The Walking Dead Destinies, such as character skill trees, more combat details, and some more little things that might interest you if you're looking forward to the game. All this new information came out recently from an interview with Flux Games game director Paulo Luis Santos, so you hear me mention him a lot. Leave a like if you enjoy the video and sub to the channel if you want to know more about Destinies when new info gets released, as well as some other games coming out. And on with the video. Number 1, we have over 150 ending variations. So Destinies has over 150 ending variations, says game director of Flux Games Paulo Luis Santos. Our choices throughout the game will affect who lives and who dies, as we all know, and this means that most players will have slightly different experiences as the game comes to a close. However, this sounds extremely promising, but expectations must be managed. These variations mainly come in the form of switching out different characters depending on who made it as far as the end, meaning that it is not so much 150 unique endings, but more each player will be watching very similar cutscenes of the final moment of the game, but with different characters on them. While the ending may not shift drastically, who players take to the ending of the game does. The endings are also not drastically different, as Flux Games have said that the narrative of the game closely follows the story of the first 4 seasons despite choices, but these ending variations are more than enough to show how much of an impact players can have when talking about who will be with you at the end. Number 2, the final surviving character roster. So speaking of endings varying with different characters, a cool feature that Destinies will have is a character roster at the end to let the player know which choices they have made that have resulted in specific characters surviving and who will be going through to the final showdown of the game, so to speak. Telltale Games The Walking Dead did this at
So that's interesting. Skill trees. I had to stop for a second. So that's very interesting. So there's going to be skill trees involved depending on what characters you keep alive. That's very fascinating. Okay, so I'm liking this already. This definitely seems like something right up my alley. Let's get back to it.
See all the absolute fuck-ups that you had caused, except this time it will be shown to the player through a cutscene with the current alive characters. Number 3, there's 3 final bosses. So there will be 3 final bosses in Destinies that players' choices throughout the game will decide which one of the 3 bosses they face. This isn't like a big walker boss showdown, but an actual villain from the show. The character roster mentioned before, these are the people that will help you face this final boss. Obviously we don't know which choices in the game will affect which boss you face, or who the 3 bosses are, but we can make pretty good guesses. For example, my guess of the 3 would be the Governor, Shane or Meryl. Those seem quite obvious, so it would be cool if those 3 differ slightly, but who knows. It would be funny if one of the final bosses is like Carol due to some storyline with Sophia surviving season 2 or something like that, but leave a comment who you think the 3 bosses will be. Number 4, there is 23 handcrafted levels. Paulo Luis Santos has said that although the game is not open world, there will be 23 levels that have all been personally handcrafted from the ground up, with the locations as a whole remaining very accurate to the TV show. These levels are of course ordered episodically from the Memorial Hospital to Woodbury, designed to allow for both stealth and gun blazing approaches. He has also said that some levels are more action packed and some are more story driven. Although the locations will be TV show accurate, they have also opted to make some adjustments to empower gameplay and make it as fun as possible to get through these iconic landmarks. He also quickly mentioned that although you will be conscious about bullet management throughout the game, each level is not designed to make the player scavenge for resources. Number 5, character skill trees. So all playable characters in the game will have a
Oh, so characters will have skill trees. Okay. I like that. That's why I said this game, it sounded basic when I first heard of it, but the more and more I listen, the more and more interesting it sounds. So yeah, let's get back to that. I like that.
unique skill tree. However, you will not have to play as that character to access their skills. The unique skill trees will be shared among the group and can be accessed by any character. The only catch is the character has to be alive and in your party in order to access their skills. This means the what if choices also impact gameplay. For example, you need Shane to be alive and in your party in order to unlock some abilities from his tree. If you chose Rick over him, you won't be able to unlock the Bobo skill, for example, that makes shotgun shells go through the first enemy, hitting the ones behind them. This also impacts gameplay because as players lose key characters, they get access to different skills.
Okay. So the choices of the characters that you pick will influence what perks basically that are available for you to use during your playthrough. That's fascinating. I'm interested to see how the decisions really influence, how much impact. I mean, it's clearly going to have a gameplay impact, but how significant is that impact going to be?
Number 6, combat is designed to be realistic to the series. So the concept of the game's combat system is really based on the show and quite straightforward. The player is very powerful against a single walker, they should do okay against 2, but if you're facing 3 or more, things can get really messy really quick. So you'd better watch out and avoid that.
Okay.
Stabbing walkers in the brain is
now these graphics look a little meh, but I would assume this is probably like an alpha build and these aren't how the final graphics are going to look. That's my assumption.
Seamlessly with melee weapon attacks in a 1-2 combo that feels super satisfying. There are a variety of melee weapons such as baseball bats, crowbars, sledgehammers, and of course a katana with different movesets, combos, special skills, damage, and reach. Players will be able to improve their performance on each with special skills unlocked as they progress in the game. Number 7, new walker variations. So speaking of combat against walkers, there is confirmed to be brand new walkers in Destinies that we have not seen before in the Walking Dead universe. This includes walkers that explode, walkers that creep across the ground, walkers that make extra noise while you're fighting them, and larger, more challenging ones. Santos says one good example is that we came up with some cool new walkers.
Okay, so they'll have different variations of walkers, like every other zombie game. Okay, sounds a little State of Decay 2-ish, which State of Decay is heavily influenced off The Walking Dead, so makes sense.
Number 8, there will be no new locations. So there will be no new locations in Destinies that we haven't already seen.
Okay, so there'll be no new locations. They'll be sticking exclusively to what's in the show, which I like though. Because again, I would really like to see what that scenes from the first episode. I wonder, do you have a choice of whether to open the door or not? For example, like how significant are these choices and how big of an impact will they have on the game? It's obvious they're going to have an impact on, like I said, gameplay because of skill trees, but how much impactful will these choices be on the actual way the game plays out will be fascinating to see.
Number 9, and the final point, game length. So Santos has said that an average player should be able to complete one playthrough of the game in around 7 to 8 hours, while a completionist should spend around 11 to 12. And that scales
okay, so 12 hours of playthrough. Okay, 12-hour playthrough. That's pretty good for a game like this. Like I said, decision-based game, and you have 150 different outcomes potentially.
This looks sadly like it won't be happening. Santos said we actually considered doing more seasons at one point in the project. I personally really wanted to save Beth, but at the end of the day, we wanted to focus on crafting the best The Walking Dead experience that we can, and we decided that it means a more detailed deep dive into these rich, awesome arcs that include Rick and Shane and Woodbury, as opposed to rushing through content. Not only will they not be doing further seasons, but they've actually cut down how many episodes we will play. Season 1 to 4 has a total of 44 episodes, and as mentioned before, the game has 23 levels, meaning that Flux Games has obviously cut out the filler episodes as they should, and condensed those seasons down into the 23 levels. But that's the end of the video. These new details are the most impressive thing to hear, but it's nice that we now know more about the game. We do now have a new release date with the new trailer that was released, so the digital version will come out November the 17th, and the physical copy comes.
Alright, so as you can see, the game does drop this week, Friday. Comes out 17 for the digital edition, and the physical edition comes out December. Like I said, The Walking Dead Destinies, man, seems like a fascinating game. Shout outs to the homie Tyler Sidequest. Like I said, he's the original maker of the video that we just watched and reacted to. So shout outs to him for gathering that information for us. It really seems like a cool game, man. I'm digging the concept of this game, guys. So, come Friday, there's a good chance we're gonna start covering this game and maybe post some gameplays on the channel. I think I might even review this one. So yeah, stay tuned. Just stay tuned. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscription button. It's free. Subscribe. It's totally free. Catch me, cheap plug. Catch me streaming daily on Twitch, man. Wise World Universe over on Twitch, man. Twitch TV -- Wise World Universe. We in a building. Yo, keep it litty in your city. You hear me? I appreciate y'all coming through, man. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for coming through. And in the meantime, between time, we're gonna catch y'all on that next one. Y'all hold it in the road. Wise man, up out of there. 100.